New name, new brand, new me, new journey. And this is a journey. And I want to take you guys on the journey with me because we're going to do this journey together, girl. Okay, I am a little nervous. No. Oh God, I don't know why I'm nervous to be in front of a camera. It's just a camera. I'm a little hot, child. This turtleneck. Oh Jesus, give me strength. All right, let's calm ourselves down, okay? And let's not be nervous. Like, nervousness is okay. We feel the emotion, we recognize that it's there, but now it's gotta go. It's gotta go, because it has no place here. Nervousness has no place here, honey. Anywho, I'm back. Guess who's back? Me, V, previously known as Naturally Nessa. And you know, I just know my 98 subscribers miss me. I just know that they did. I know y'all did, right? Maybe not. Anyway, because I am a little nervous, let's start by opening with a word of prayer, okay? Hey God, it's me again. I just come before you to say thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to even have this platform. Thank you for what you're doing now and what you're going to do in the future. I thank you for every face that is on the other side of the screen that is watching. I just pray that you give me the confidence to speak the words that I'm supposed to speak and say the things that I'm supposed to say. And I pray that whoever's watching this is touched by something that I had to say in this video. And you know, let's just rock out. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to try to not make this first video very long-winded, but anybody who knows me knows sometimes I talk a lot. So we gonna try, yo. We gonna try, yo. Like, what? So I don't really even know like what I'm going to title this video, because it's like a where have I been, but again, not that many people were asking. So, but it's also kind of like a where have I been, what is this brand slash testimony kind of video. So just bear with me, y'all. Just bear with me, please. Okay, so if you are one of my returning 98 subscribers, you may notice that there is something a little bit different. That difference being the fact that I no longer go by the name that I previously went by. So I used to have a YouTube channel and it was titled Naturally Nessa. I don't know why I did this, because there's nothing that's gonna pop up here. Anyway, I had a YouTube channel. So rewinding, I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel since I was like 19 years old. So in 2020, I was like, you know, F it, we ball. I'm finna make a YouTube channel, right? And I had a lot of fervor and a lot of vigor. I also want to say, if my tongue looks white, I'm sorry. I just drank coffee, which I'm gonna go get that because I'm not finished with it. We not finna waste this Starbucks, okay? We paid good money for this. So I had a lot of fervor and vigor, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this channel. And I didn't really like have a real direction of where I wanted to go. Like, I had an idea, but I didn't have any real vision. I was just kind of like, you know, doing things as they came along. But I enjoyed making the YouTube videos. I enjoyed editing the YouTube videos. But then I just fell off. And I think there's a combination of reasons why I fell off. I fell off because, number one, I don't think I was genuinely producing the content that I wanted to produce. Yes, I was putting out things that I liked, but in 2020 was when I really started to get serious about God. And so I got really consumed in like Christian social media, which if you have not been a part of Christian social media, don't even bother. If you have, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's just, it can be a toxic place, number one. And number two, it's almost like you feel like you have to be a part of this aesthetic, and if you don't have that aesthetic, then you don't really love God, or you're not really doing what you're supposed to do. And everybody may not feel that way, and everybody who is a Christian and on social media is not like this. I'm just saying how it can make you feel sometimes. So I felt like I had to have a certain image and do certain things, and my content had to only be about like spiritual things, which is not true. I've learned that I don't have to put myself into a box, because while we are all spiritual beings, we're all living a natural life right now. And it is okay to, yes, talk about God, but also talk about other real life things that happen, and interests that you have, and hobbies that you do, and just your life. Like being a lifestyle content creator, that is what I actually wanted to do, and I felt like I wasn't genuinely doing it. So that's one reason why I just kind of took a little bit of a break, because I had told myself in 2021 that I wanted to rebrand my image, and I never got around to it, and there's reasons for that. So there were some reasons why I never got around to relaunching my brand, and some of those include insecurities, imposter syndrome, depression, spiritual warfare. No, not warfare. I don't want to say I was having spiritual warfare. I was having like a spiritual crisis. That's the better word for it. So 2020, we were in lockdown. For those of you who do not know, my full-time job is being an elementary school teacher. So in 2020, there was no school. And even in like fall of 2020, I didn't have any kids in person. I had to go into the building 2 days a week, but I was still teaching over a computer. So teaching virtually and teaching in person are two totally different things. But eventually the workload started to pick back up, and it was kind of hard to balance doing YouTube and also focusing on my job, which I personally enjoy this more, but you know, your girl has bills to pay. So at the end of the day, the thing that is helping me pay my bills is what has to get more of my attention. And I am somebody who I'm working on becoming more disciplined, but this time last year, I had no discipline whatsoever, like not even a little bit. So I had a really hard time with holding myself accountable and making sure that I was spending my free time wisely doing things that would help grow my channel. And yeah, I just wasn't doing it. So that's one reason. Another reason is I started to get really depressed again in 2021. 2021 was an interesting year. It was definitely interesting, and it showed me a lot of things, but we'll get to that later. So I started to become depressed again. I do struggle with depression, sometimes seasonally, sometimes things trigger it. I have learned how to cope with that depression a lot better now, but yeah, it was probably the worst depressive episode that I've ever had in my entire life, and it was really scary. So I didn't really have that much motivation to do anything. But at the same time, like, I've been depressed on and off since 2016, so that wasn't like the biggest factor of why I fell off, but it was one of them. And the last two that really are the true reasons why I stopped being on YouTube. I feel like this is way too close to me. Hold on. That is a much better view, y'all. Okay, I'm so sorry that the angle is gonna change in the middle of the video, but you know, you gotta make it do what it do. Anyways, so the two biggest reasons why I stopped doing YouTube were a combination of having a terrible spiritual crisis and imposter syndrome. According to Google, imposter syndrome, also called perceived fraudulence, involves feelings of self-doubt and personal incompetence that persist despite your education, experience, and accomplishments. I feel like most people my age suffer from imposter syndrome just because of how much our faces are in social media. You constantly compare yourself to other people and feel like you don't measure up, regardless of how much work you do, how much you accomplish, it doesn't matter. You just feel like you are extremely inadequate. You don't measure up in terms of looks, in terms of knowledge, in terms of material possessions, in terms of popularity. Like, there are so many things that you can compare yourself to when it comes to other people. And I've had this problem since I was younger, before the age of social media. So social media heightens it, but that's not the root of it for me. I've just always struggled with it, and it sucks, okay? And dealing with that, I really talked myself out of doing a lot of things that I should have. And I put so much self-doubt and negativity into my brain until eventually I just said, forget it. And I don't want to do this because I don't feel like there's a point to me even having a YouTube channel. Who's gonna really watch me? Realistically, who am I helping? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a hot mess myself, and I just need to let it go. And that's what I convinced myself of. In addition to, then your girl had a spiritual crisis, and everything that I was standing on in 2020, I had no idea if it was true in 2021. And this was going on from like January all the way up until about the end of October of this year. And you can ask my friends, especially my one really good friend Jordan. I had so many conversations with her, and I would just be like, I feel so fraudulent because I feel as if everything that I believed in last year, I now don't know if that's the truth. And it was just because I was looking honestly at social media too much, and I was looking at all of these debates that people would have, and people saying, oh, well, this isn't real, and God isn't real, and Jesus isn't real, and the Bible is all made up, and all the white men took everything out of the Bible and they changed stuff in the Bible, and the pastors are crooked, and just nothing is as pure and as simple and as righteous as you guys think that it is. And you just need to realize that you are your own master and controller, and your energies and your chakras. And it was just like so much being thrown at me that I was just like, I don't know. Then that coupled with being depressed, I just had this sense of like hopelessness. And I was like, nothing matters. Like, I was like, all of this is made up. We're probably in a simulation anyways. There's probably some sort of higher being sitting up there laughing at us. The world is going to crap. We're still in a pandemic. Every 2 seconds somebody is dying. People are poor. They can't eat. Like, and I started thinking like, I live and exist in this world where I've always had things provided for me, and I'm like, there are people who have never lived a life like that, and that's not fair. I was like, there are people in other countries who are fighting for their lives every 2 seconds, and I don't have to do that. I don't have to face death or being scared to leave my home or any of that. I'm like, I've never been trafficked. I've never been like, all of these insane things that happen to people have never happened to me. And I would be like, I just don't understand. Why do I get to live this nice life and other people don't? Like, yes, I have my own problems, but they truly do not compare to some things that people go through. So I just had a hard time making sense of life. Life really made no sense to me. And I'm like, I don't have a purpose. I don't have a reason to be here. I wasn't like about to kill myself or anything, but I really would wake up every day being like, wow, it would have been so nice if I didn't wake up. Because what's the point? I hated going to work. I've already not been the happiest as a teacher. There are just so many demands on teachers, and the education system is extremely flawed, but I'm not going to get on my soapbox about that because that is not what this video is about. But one thing that makes teaching so worth it is going to work every day and seeing the kids that you built relationships with. And last year was not like that. Last year was the one year as a teacher where I was just like, wow, like, I don't connect with these kids. And it was really, really hard to. And I was teaching 6th grade. I was teaching math. So it's like the kids didn't want to be on the computer. I didn't want to be on the computer. None of us wanted to be there. They hated what they were learning. I hated teaching what I was teaching. And It was just like, I'm so sick of waking up every day to do this. This is dumb. This is stupid. That was my attitude. Life is dumb. I was like, life is dumb. God don't care. He's nowhere to be found. This man hasn't talked to me. He hasn't reached out. And he sees I'm struggling. He sees that I'm going through. And he is up there chilling, probably watching Netflix. That was my mindset. Sorry, Lord. And then in the fall, I started going to church more consistently again. And I was just kind of going just to go. I still had doubts. I still had confusion. I wasn't angry anymore, but still definitely had questions. And it was, I think, 4 straight weeks in a row. So the end of October, like it was basically the beginning of November. Through the month of November, every week when I went to church, somebody called me out. And I know that people have their own reservations about prophecy and things of that sort, because I'm gonna be honest, I did too. I've never truly been prophesied to where I was like, yeah, you hitting home, like you on point. I normally go to church, I'm on my business. Most people, most pastors and stuff don't really call me out or anything. But in this case, it was 4 weeks in a row. And it was 4 different people. And everything that they said aligned with what I was feeling, with what I was thinking, with what I was wrestling with the questions that I had. And then, you know, I started talking to my mom more. The things that she was saying, lining up with what I was feeling. I started going back to, you know, watching church on YouTube and stuff. The sermons I were listening to lined up with what I was feeling. And I was just like, okay, God, this cannot be coincidental. And in almost everything that I heard or was told, restarting this was at the center. And it wasn't like they said restart your YouTube channel. It's never that specific. But the words that they were saying and what I had in my heart, this whole entire time I did want to get back to it. But I was scared. And I was negative, and I had every excuse in the book as to why I shouldn't, and God was giving me every reason in the book as to why I should. And so here we are, almost a whole year later. The last video I posted on my channel, I believe, was in January of 2021, and it is now December 2022. So it has been a minute. But we're here, going through all of that, the depression, the insecurity, the imposter syndrome, which, let me tell you guys something, that stuff just doesn't go away. I have to pray it away. I have to manifest it away. I have to speak it out of existence, because I spoke it into existence, and the only way to combat that is when I have those feelings, I gotta be like, you do not live here, you do not belong here. And when I feel myself telling myself a negative thought, I have to counteract it quickly with a positive one. Otherwise, I will talk myself out of doing things like recording this video. I could have easily talked myself out of doing this. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, all those roads led here. And I have realized that this year was really a building experience for me. And last year, I had actually prayed at the end of the year, God, I want you to really show me who I am. Like, I want you to show me my heart fully and completely, even the really ugly stuff. Because I knew that I had still been avoiding some of those things, even though I was trying to work on myself and I was going to therapy. Even going to therapy, I still wasn't being as transparent as I could have been, because there were some things that I was just scared to let go of. I was scared to face. And so I prayed that, and without me realizing it, God answered my prayers. Even in those months where I felt like he was so silent and he wasn't speaking to me, that was intentional. And I've really learned that God has a personality, and he does everything by design. And he, even when we do not understand what he's doing, in due time we will. Maybe not everything, But when it comes to things that are for your good and your own growth and development, eventually you'll realize why he did what he did. Now I realize why I had to go through so much emotional, spiritual, and mental turmoil, because it was really developing something in me. I need to stop saying so much. But it was really developing something in me that I could not get by just faking the funk. And what I wasn't gonna do was sit on the internet and fake the funk, because too many people do that. And I don't think like that. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that it's honest, which obviously people don't care about honesty, but that's a big reason why imposter syndrome is such a big thing in my generation, because people are not transparent and open on social media. They love to show you the shiny things, the I made it, the things that are gonna give them a congratulations or a compliment. They love to show you all the good stuff, but we never love to show the bad stuff on social media. Which brings me to, again, why I'm even making this video in the first place. My relaunch and my rebranding of myself. So my entire life, not my entire life, but I wanna say since about middle school, I would always say to my mom, I would love to grow up and be like Oprah. I loved Oprah, child, okay? I really loved her when I was younger. I used to watch the Oprah show every day after school. I just loved how she helped people. And I didn't have a name for that. I just would always say, I would love to be like Oprah. And when you're younger, your dreams seem so attainable. And then when you get older, you start to think in a more practical sense. And so for me, doing that was not practical. What was practical is going to college and getting a degree in something that will get me a job, and then getting a job and working and making money, and that's just that. And I did that. I went to college twice and I have a career. Is it a career that makes me a lot of money? No, but it's a career and it's stable, and I have a pension and a retirement plan and benefits and a union and all of those things, you know, the stuff that was the American dream at one point in time. You know, on paper, I've made it, I've done well for myself. But there was always like that lingering deep down inside of me that was like, there's more, there's more, there's more, there's something else that you need to be doing. You're good at this, because don't get it twisted, I'm good at my job. I'm very good at what I do. Would you give me like the teacher of the universe award? Probably not. But would you say like, that's a good teacher right there? You sure would, okay? But again, there's more, there's more, there's more. I've always struggled with purpose. You know, what is my purpose? What is the reason why I'm here? Because for almost literally up until this year, I've really kind of felt like I was a waste of space. Like, yes, I have a family, yes, I have friends, I get that, but if I would have been anybody else, or if I never would have existed, they probably would have been fine. That was my thought process, right? And this year, when I've been really introspective and I've thought about who I really am as a human being, I have realized that that passion for helping people and making people feel better has always been inside of me. I have literally always been that type of person. I can be a little crass sometimes. I can be a little blunt sometimes, but my intentions are always very, very pure. And I do not like to see people hurt. And I always want to see the people around me do the best that they can. Like, people will tell you that I act like a mom, and I absolutely do, because I want to see my friends succeed. And I want to see everybody who I love be the best version of themselves. And that's what I've said I wanted to do my whole life, and I naturally do that. And then in addition to that, I'm naturally creative, and I have so many creative gifts and talents inside of me that God has given me that I just let lay dormant. And again, a lot of that comes from comparison. Me looking at what other people can do and being so upset that I can't do that, that I'm not focusing on what it is that I can do. Because I've learned being creative is not something that everybody can do. Having vision for things is not something that everybody can do. Content creation is not something that everybody can do. Writing is not something that everybody can do, nor is it something that everybody has a passion for. And It took me 25 and a half years to learn this lesson, but I've realized that everybody is so uniquely made and designed, and God entrusts us with certain things because he knows who we are, what we bring to the table, and what type of people we're going to cross paths with and who we can help. And so it was meant for me to have the gift of being able to be like, oh, this is a great idea. I can turn this into a story. I can turn this into a video. To be able to be solutions oriented and try to help people become better. Everybody cannot do that. Everybody does not have a solutions oriented mind. Little things like that are even giftings. Even certain things like being able to do my makeup and do my hair and think of outfits in my head that I may not necessarily do. All of those are giftings. All of those are ways that you can help other people who may not necessarily know how to do those things. Even little things like being able to take things and explain them in a way that makes sense to other people. I mean, hashtag teacher. But being able to do that is not something that everybody can do. And so I've chosen to take the angle of, instead of comparing what I can't do, I'm going to focus on what I can do. I'm going to really hone in on my skills and use those towards my benefit. So I decided that I want to dedicate my channel to not just highlighting me and who I am and making a brand just about myself. I want to really be able to help women around my age, maybe younger than me. Some of you may even be older than me. Learn how to walk in their truth and to live the purpose-filled life that God has for us. Because I've spent so much of my life wasting my time and beating myself up and doing all of this so silently that people didn't know unless I told them. And I wish that when I was 19 or 20 or 21, 23, hell, even last year, I wish that there was somebody who looked like me, was around my age, and had a similar story to me to be like, girl, I was you, and it's gonna be okay. Because while I have amazing friends and family, I don't think anybody struggled with the amount of insecurity that I had in my personal life. Because people will say, I don't understand why you're so down on yourself. Like, that's crazy, because you know, they see me in a different light than I see myself. And sometimes I just wish I had somebody who got it, who was like, girl, I totally understand, because I felt exactly the way that you felt. And it's somebody who doesn't even know me, you know? I wish that I had somebody like me who was on the other side of it, who I could watch and I could listen to and get advice from. And I wish I had somebody who was going to be completely transparent. Because like I said, you don't see a lot of transparency on the internet these days. It's always the good, it's never the bad. So with that being said, this channel now is called You Glow Girl. And I actually thought of this randomly like 2 years ago. And I was just like, that's such a cute name, because everybody talks about the glow up, you know? And I want this brand to be about that. I want it to be dedicated to the glowing up process, because glowing up is not easy. Glowing up is not quick. Glowing up takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of dedication, and it takes you choosing yourself every single day. And people always show the good parts of the glow up, but they never really show the struggle of the glow up. And I haven't completely glowed up. I am in my glow up process, but I'm only about like 15% of the way there, child. And so I want this to be, as I glow up, you guys glow up too. Like, we're doing this together. We are a team. One band, one sound, okay? It's us in this. And yes, I want to show the great stuff. I want to show the accomplishments. I want to show the cute aesthetics and all that stuff. But I also want to show the roughness. I want to show the hard times. I want to show when you're tired or you just don't feel like doing it or you failed. I want to be able to share all of that with you guys. I want to be able to be fully transparent, and I want this to just feel like girlfriends hanging out, you know, like a big sis, little sis type of thing. Like we kicking it, we talking, we laughing, we may be crying, but we're learning, we're growing, and we're glowing at the same time. See, I did that, yeah. And as I mentioned, God is a huge part of my life, and so I want to incorporate him in everything that I do on this channel as well. But if you may not be into the Bible or into God, or you have your skepticisms, or you're still trying to figure it out, that is okay. I want this to be a safe space, and I want to create a space where people who have had skepticisms, because again, I've had them, I still have them about certain things, and that is okay. People say you're not supposed to question God. That's so untrue. And I don't even know where they got that from, because in the Bible, mad people were questioning God. That's all they did was question this man over and over and over and over and over again. Like, you good, girl. But I want to make God and Jesus and the Bible more realistic and more simplified for people, because church lingo is not for everybody. Church culture is not for everybody. And let me tell you who it's not for: me. I grew up in church, and it's still not for me. I'm still not a churchy person. I love God, and I love learning about God. I love reading the Bible. I think it is so interesting, but I'm not churchy. I guess that's the only word that I can make for it. And I know some people, because there is a certain culture that is tied with church, they feel uncomfortable with it. They feel uncomfortable to ask questions. They don't know who to ask questions to. But that's why I'm here, and I feel like that's also part of my purpose. Is I've had many a times where I take Bible stories and I explain them to my friends, and they're laughing, they understand it a little bit more, like they got a new perspective of something that they didn't necessarily know before, just from trying to pick up a King James Bible and read it and make sense of it. So I just want to take lifestyle and faith and mash them up together and just create this beautiful montage of content that helps people. And the goal is to do this, like, and to do it well, and to, you know, make some money, honey. But that is not my main focus. And I think with YouTube before, that was my main focus. Like, I gotta get more subscribers so I can get monetized, so I can get money. Like, girl, calm down. One day at a time, one video at a time, okay? Now that's not my focus. It would be nice, it would be very nice to have the coins, child. But even if one person stumbles across my video and it helps them in some sort of way, I'm okay. I'm learning that this is a faith walk, and it's a faith journey, and I'm leading by faith and not by sight. And I know that whether it's through this or it's through something else, that God has great plans for me, and he's gonna take care of me. And he's gonna take care of all you guys too. And I'm only at the beginning. One motto that I want for this channel, this brand, is on earth as it is in heaven. And that comes from the Lord's Prayer: Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And again, this goes back to simplifying a relationship with God. A lot of times people talk about being kingdom minded, and, you know, this earth is not your home, and don't focus on earthly treasures, you know, you'll store them up in heaven, and all that stuff is great and dandy, and it's true. But at the same time, I personally believe that God wants us to live a purpose-filled and flourishing life here on earth, because yes, we will not be here forever, but in the time that we're here, he doesn't want us to be miserable mollies. Our life shouldn't be centered around struggle and heartache and hardship. Yes, hard times will come, but at the same time, God has so much in store for us here on earth. We just got to tap into it. And you know, these beliefs, they transcend over belief systems, because even the people who don't necessarily believe in the Bible and just believe that they can manifest their own reality, it's still the same thing. Like, it's using the same principles to create a life that you actually enjoy. And I believe that God wants that for us too. Do I believe that everybody is going to have a mansion and a Bugatti? No, but I do believe that he wants everybody to be the best version of themselves on earth, which takes work, takes hard work. So we gonna do the work to get to it, period. But yeah, y'all, I think that's it for this video. I think that's really all I had to say. I just wanted to come back on here and say I'm starting from scratch. New name, new brand, new me, new journey. And this is a journey. And I want to take you guys on the journey with me, because we're going to do this journey together, girl. We're going to do the journey of becoming our best selves when it comes to how we dress, when it comes to how we look, your hair, your makeup, when it comes to our health, our mental health, our spiritual health, our physical health, our financial health. Because, child, listen. We are just gonna be revamping ourselves. We are becoming that girl. We are becoming her, okay? And we're gonna do it with grace and with dignity. And I'm just really excited. I am really, really excited to get this content out to you guys. I have some really, really great ideas. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, or that you would like to support, even if you know you have become her already, honey, come join the family and give us some tips, okay? You can hit that subscribe button down below. You know, I have 98 subscribers, but 2 more y'all can subscribe to me so that I can be at 100. That would be nice. But yeah, hit the subscribe button, turn on my bell for notifications so that you never miss an upload. I also have an Instagram and a TikTok page that I have just created. Those are in the intro. They are also linked down below, as well as my personal social media if you would like to follow me and just see who I am as a person outside of the You Glow Girl brand. I'm gonna have some really cool segments for you guys. I'm gonna try and keep things consistent and orderly and organized on this channel. Anybody who knows me knows I love organization, but I can also be kind of scatterbrained. So we're gonna see, but next upload is coming very, very soon. If you made it this far in the video, I truly do appreciate you, and I love you. I may not know you, but I love you. So yeah, I'm Vanessa. This is You Glow Girl, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.